This is Showtime, a podcast about the people behind the curtain and the stories that shape them. I'm Andrew G, and each week I sit down with creatives, leaders and risk takers from the theatre world and beyond. We talk about what they do, why they do it, and what it really takes to keep showing up. Today I'm joined by passionate advocates of community, kindness and creativity, Leigh Roncon and Ayla Hendricks. The dynamic duo keeping Melbourne theatre scene positive, supportive and thriving through the Facebook group Positive Theatre Vibes. Welcome to Showtime, Ayla and Leigh.
Hi Andrew.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
So great to have you here in the studio. There are so many things that I want to chat to you about, but for people that don't know, what is Positive Theatre Vibes?
Okay, so Positive Theatre Vibes is a Facebook group that started 10 years ago by somebody that we know, Ian Nisbet. Yeah, who thought and wanted to become a little bit innovative to create a positive space for people to share different things that were happening in community theatre and just theatre alike. In Victoria, because I mean that's sort of where it's based, and of course not exclusive too. So he sort of started that. I think that he probably thought that what was happening in community theatre might have been getting a bit murky, and in the way that people had different ideas of how we should be treating theatre and community theatre. So I think that he turned around and sort of thought, no, do you know what? We are now in the era of social media, and a lot of people have a lot of different things to say about, theatre, whether they didn't like the production value, they didn't like the actors, they didn't like this. Everybody was very quick to do that in the early teens. And then, Ian thought, look, let's turn around. And how about the positive things that are happening in community theatre? How about these amazing things, that people are effectively, are giving their time for, donating their time, putting it in there, wanting to go out and have a really good time, have some fun with what they're doing in community theatre. And Ian was really sort of, was the pioneer of the group and sort of created that space.
Yeah, and then he got to a point, I think he had a lot going on in his life, and he auditioned out. he auditioned us.
So Ayla, what was your motivation to put your hand up and have a go?
I'd been in the group for a while, and I just, for me, I loved that the smaller people were getting recognised. So people behind the scenes, a stage manager or the lighting guy, someone's nana that baked cookies. It was just such a great little group. There was no, negativity, obviously positive theatre vibes, but everyone just celebrated theatre. And as you know, Andrew, theatre in Melbourne especially is quite close, tight-knit community. So everyone that you come across, you tend to work with again. So it was just nice to have a group where people could just celebrate and enjoy theatre for what it is, without the negativity. And, there's, I don't know, any show that has just run smooth, seamlessly. There's always going to be hiccups here and there. And, there's no need to sort of be so upset about things that go wrong, which are eventually going to happen. But just to have a group that people could come together and enjoy whatever show they might be in or have gone and watched, just promoting each other's shows and promoting each other's dreams. So that sort of motivated me, because I thought, no, I don't want this to shut down. I didn't know Leigh was going to also put his hand up. I might not have done it. But I think it worked out so perfectly, because, as you know, Leigh is heavily involved in theatre. Yeah. And he's a wonderful performer, and I can't wait to come and see you in Mamma Mia very soon.
Thank you very much.
With Windmill. So anyway, I just put my hand up and thought I can do this, because I actually run a couple of other Facebook groups which have nothing to do with theatre. One's a photography studio group, which I think is over 100,000 followers.
Wow.
I'm not a photographer, but anyway, I'm running this amazing group. So I had the experience in being an admin and monitoring, but really our little group, it doesn't need a lot of monitoring. Everyone's just so kind and friendly and supportive, and it's just nice to sort of, have a presence
Do you
in
know
the
what?
community.
Yeah, exactly. It's good just to have a space
Yes.
for people, and it's so nice. You sort of read the different things that are coming in, and it's just like this is what we need.
Yes,
this is
for
this is where it's at. For me it was and Ian put the call out, and I'd followed Positive Theatre Vibes, I think around possibly 2016. And I thought to myself, when Ian put it out, I'm like, I want to be a part of this. I had taken a little bit of time off before COVID from performing. I felt that the theatre scene was in a strange place. I think that people were still very happy to talk about what they wanted to talk about, even if it was reckless online.
Yeah.
And it sort of, I think when it became sort of, through COVID and then after COVID, I think that everybody was kind of like a sort of a reset where people could actually turn around and go, oh, wait a second, what we were or could have been destroying is actually something so magical.
Absolutely.
And so, when it came out, it was just sort of like, I was like, yeah, absolutely. I want to be a part of what the change is. I want to be a part of what the positivity is. And, being a part of it and knowing that space is there sort of makes you want to, like, it enthuses you. It's like, I'm a part of something great instead of, okay, I have to watch my performance. I have to, it's just sort of, brings such a lightness and a funness to it. And everybody wants to have fun.
Absolutely. That's what we're there for.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
What's running this group taught you both about community building?
For me, I have been amazed at, like I said, people just coming out and putting in a post of, they saw a show on the weekend and, this character that was in the ensemble did an amazing job there, and things that you wouldn't have noticed or picked up, and then just getting to know the actors in our community and the shows that are running, people just putting up posts of promoting whatever show that they may have seen, and I don't know, I guess it just, the moment, someone puts up a post and everyone's just, celebrating that particular person or that show, and just...
And then, and although some people might be shy online and not be posting those things, just to see those posts get a like means that, even if they've gone to click that button of a like, goes, hey, I agree with you on this.
Yeah.
And,
and there's just
and
that recognition.
That's right, exactly.
And
but I love what you said before, even the people that don't get, or might not get a, hey, that's amazing. This is a space to be celebrated for whatever you do, because a show is not brought together by just the actors. It's not brought together by just the production team.
Yeah.
There are mums driving, dads driving, there's this that go into actually creating it.
The
and
orchestra,
it's
a lot of times the musicians
absolutely.
don't get recognised, and it's just so nice and refreshing to see people's hard work being recognised.
Absolutely.
Just a very safe and friendly place.
Yeah.
Just...
Definitely. I agree.
What about when it's not safe and friendly? I mean, it's Facebook, it's the internet. Not everyone is as Positive Theatre Vibes suggests they should be. As moderators, how do you balance that? How do you balance not censoring people and stifling voices, but keeping it positive?
Oh, we just delete them.
They've just
Honestly, I have yet to come across any post or comment or person that has made us think twice.
I agree.
have
No,
you?
not at all. I think that
haven't had
everybody's
to-
sort of, they follow the guidelines. Obviously, if they want to come into Positive Theatre Vibes, they understand by clicking these boxes that this is what we're about. So anybody that would want to, we can actually message them and say, hey, it's not right for this group. But what you're trying to say might be sort of valid in a space. So it's either a redirection, or why don't you frame it like this? Why don't you frame it where it's a constructive? Because, I mean, the thing is, we certainly don't want to turn around and go, oh, no, your opinion is not valid. But why don't you, as I said, frame it like this, and then you might get a constructive if it's in the form of a question or if it's in the form of something else. But primarily, we are there for, hey, we're all doing this. We're all in this together. As you made mention, we are a small group. We all know each other. We all cross each other's paths. And
I think just people that join the group, they straight away can see the energy and what we're there for. So I'm pretty sure they would be reluctant to write something negative. They would get shut down.
That's right.
By others, not us.
I was going to say, we're pretty tough.
We're pretty tough, but, I learned from Andrew.
Hey, how'd you bring me into this? Wow, this took a turn. Really. Positive theatre vibes, guys.
Let's talk about it, Andrew.
You're going to be positive, but, sometimes you're going to be tough. So.
This is called Showtime, not positive theatre vibes. We can cut loose here.
Right.
What role do you think the group plays in supporting artists?
I think that it goes beyond just artists. I think, look, do you know what? Artists, if we're looking at that primarily, absolutely, they, artists will get hopefully some kind of appreciation through reviews and things like that. Sometimes they might look a little bit different than a positive review. I think that positive theatre vibes, if they're made mention of or a show's made mention of, it just lifts them. And it really frees up that brain space of, oh, that wasn't received well, or that, or they get into their head of, what that is. It's sort of like, hey, I did something great. I did something good. I think that if we can sort of move that negativity out of our space, it frees up for, possibility and for growth of character or growth of, going in there and giving it all with the music and not being careful, which can sometimes stifle.
And on top of that, we obviously have people putting up posts of auditions and information about theatre companies around Melbourne. So that obviously is a great resource for actors.
Absolutely.
And it seems that there are also some members there that aren't actively in theatre, performers or crew or orchestra. But it seems to be a place for audiences to discover local theatre as well.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I love because, as we say, the theatre, in Melbourne is quite close-knit. It's so good to see these different faces pop up and just, or they've joined just so that they can say, hey, I saw this on the weekend.
That's right.
Get around it. Like, it's great.
Because obviously when you're at a show and you can, you can handwrite the notes that you have, to give the positive feedback. So, but online they can just jump on and write whatever they like. But I do love that we have a lot of the younger generation because obviously we've got to keep theatre alive.
Yes.
So it's nice to have a platform for the younger generation to sort of join and think this is great. We can be ourselves here and join in the fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a moment where you saw the group or something that someone posted on the group really lift someone up?
I was going to say, all the time.
Mostly, yeah. I mean, I think it was not that long ago, whatever show it was that I saw, and I put a post in there to recognise, I think, Kent Ross, the musical director for Legally Blonde coming up.
Yep.
So, I thought, look, he needs to be recognised because he's amazing. I think he's a musical genius. So, you don't often get the conductor or anyone like that sort of written about in the reviews. I don't know, not that I've sort of read as always, but the actors and the production team. So, I thought I'd pop that in there and
that's it.
Just to get that recognition for that person and for people to also to feel that, oh, yes, we could write about someone that, that stood out for us as well. So,
and that's the thing, and you've both touched on this. There are a lot of people that put a theatre production together. There's the performers that everyone sees on stage and sort of takes for granted a part of the fabric of the show. But often in reviews, in even professional reviews, the orchestra don't necessarily get a mention. A musical director or a conductor don't get a mention. The crew, the front of house team, all of the people, and of course in local theatre and community theatre, most of those people, if not all of those people, are volunteers. So we're doing it just for the love of it or to support somebody else in the show. And it's a platform like Positive Theatre Vibes that really gives everyone that opportunity to be seen, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just that recognition. And also, like, if you're turning around saying, hey, do you know music director Kent did this? Other people are going to go, oh, wait a second, it's not just what I'm seeing on stage for face value. And it's not just the performers that are doing it's other people behind the scenes, and they're like, oh, all right, those amazing props that I saw. Well, they don't just get
Someone
there.
built them.
It's
hard
like
work.
somebody has gone out and sourced all of this, and and people do see things behind the scenes, and it is a space once again to turn around and go, hey, let's celebrate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just love to see posts of people that I think you do it a lot, shows that you've seen.
Yeah.
And you say, this show, you have to go down and see it, so people might not have necessarily known about it.
Yep.
And then you just get all the comments of others that, I want to go see that, or,
or
I
like,
saw it too. It was
agreed.
just so amazing.
Like,
it's just
absolutely.
a little platform just to discuss with people that you might not necessarily come across in day-to-day life, and it's just a nice little outlet.
You're both performers. You've both performed on stage before.
Yes.
Do you think that helps you understand what the community needs to support them to create that positive energy online?
100%. Absolutely. I mean, I've been involved in community theatre and the rest of it for quite a long time. And coming from country Victoria and then, coming to Melbourne, it is, sort of like different but the same. But it is, just, and through my own journey have turned around and just sort of, I'm trying to place my words properly. Being a part of it has shown me what I like and what I don't like, what I want and what I don't want, and what I want to be a part of and what I don't want to be a part of. So I'm at an age now and with the joy of the years under my belt of going, okay, yep, cool, this is what I love. I want other people to experience that too, and not necessarily perhaps experience some of the earlier days of when social media was around and when reviews were very much centered on, hey, let's bring you down rather than lift you up, from that space. And so, that's, Sorry, that was a really long roundabout way to get there.
What did you say?
I don't even know.
No, everything is valid. And what you said about, years under your belt. So your experience and all the experiences that you've had, and obviously times have changed. And what you can now provide to the younger performers coming in, and your, the energy that you bring and that the motivation that you can give them is invaluable.
Absolutely.
So, and for me, I've got young children who are involved in theatre, and I love that I can continue this space, such as our group, that they could then move into when they're a bit older and find a group that they will always be supported in.
Yeah.
So whether things work out or don't, it's just nice to have something established so that the younger kids can sort of feel that they are valued and they're contributing to theatre in especially community theatre. They might have a very minor role. They might be the lead. So every person that volunteers their time to community theatre is valued and appreciated, because it takes all of them to bring it together.
Ayla, you've got two incredible, talented kids that I've had the pleasure of seeing both on stage. I've had the pleasure of working with one of your kids. How much of being a mum of children performers is driving you to maintain that legacy and create that foundation of positivity for them and for kids just like them?
Nothing made me more proud as a mum to see 2 out of 3 kids pursue musical theatre, and just the joy that it brings them is just amazing. It's an amazing feeling for a parent who, I obviously love musical theatre, and I didn't have any expectations that my children would want to be involved in it, but to see their passion at such a young age and talent, it's quite rewarding, and I just want them to experience the joy of being involved in performing. So it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy as a performer, and you have the highs and the lows, and you'll go for auditions for things that you are just sure that you're sure you're going to get, or it's your heart's desire, and it doesn't work out. But
and you're like,
it's
resilience building. It's resilience building. But it is tricky, and as somebody who's a bit older, it's tricky sort of going through that. A child who doesn't have the same sort of resilience and bounce back. But what I love, and I see when your kids are doing something, I love that they're motivated, and I think that that's what you find a really good balance in doing is being a part of it, but creating that motivation and that positive space for them as well.
Yes, exactly. So it's whatever your child is interested in, whether it's sport or performing in theatre, it's nice to be able to drive that and keep them encouraged. And so I guess being a parent is part of all of that, and nurturing what their passions are, and just seeing them grow and enjoy whatever it is that gives them joy. So
yeah. And Leigh, you're an educator, so you work with a lot of children. How important is performing arts for children in their development as a person?
Absolutely imperative to that. I mean, getting up, and from a younger age now, we, in schools, part of the curriculum is actually having a look at presentation, speaking and listening. So, not only in schools are we teaching them to be an amazing audience member and how to respond to that. It's about, getting up there and experiencing what your voice feels like in your body, on different ways that we can say things. It really underpins a lot of their growth and development. And, to see those kids that do then want to extend into the theatre or television world, it's so good to be able to work with them, because they've actually got a different lens on in the way that they want to approach things with community theatre or professional theatre, or television as well. So absolutely very important. And it comes back to the fun of it.
Yes.
It is such a fun space to be in. Can also be an interesting space to be in.
What do you mean by that?
The interesting space of getting in your head, or that's not good enough, or that one, maybe they're better than me, and it can really sort of be interesting in that respect. But look, it is such a fun space to be in, and everybody has a chance to get involved in theatre in some capacity, or public speaking in some capacity, when they're at school. As I say, I used to run a theatre group myself, and, one of the things I used to say to the parents, because they'd be like, oh, my child is so shy. And I said, look, a lot of the activities and games and things like that we actually do, we give them what they need to say. So they're experiencing that, and, give them a term under their belt. You've got a different child coming out the other side.
Absolutely.
And, that can actually look, different from, feeling a little bit more confident to, hey, and now I can do this, and my body gets involved, and but it is, it's such a, from any entry level, it is accessible, and it's
just reminds me of my daughter Ayla and my son is Lucian, and both of them, if you were to meet them off stage, they're very quiet, introverted. They're very pleasant and lovely, and you would not think of them as being performers, but when you see them up on stage, they're shining. So it gives them that platform to feel that, this is what I love and what I enjoy, and I can get up here and I can do this. Whereas you try to get them to do something, just in another environment, they'd be quite reluctant, because it's not, who they are, but it's something that comes out from them. From the joy of performing.
Absolutely. And just with you saying that, well, that's how I got into theatre.
Yes.
In Mildura, I was the quiet, shy guy that my parents were like, let's put him in a theatre group, let's put him in a drama group, and terrified. But I tell you what, once you hit that stage, it gives you, it's like adrenaline,
It is.
that superpower, that I'm a part of something,
Yeah.
which, you know, my quietness just, you know, and the reservation was, you know, sort of got in the way of those social relationships and things like that when I was much younger. And it is for those kids sometimes that stepping stone or sometimes that chance that they need, that maybe they are not heard in the classroom or out on the yard. But when they do this, they have a place.
They do.
You know, and yeah.
But that experience, that journey that you've both just described, isn't limited to children. There are adults that I know that I've seen. You know, whether they're neurodivergent or whether they lack the confidence or whatever it is, when they come out on stage, they really come out, they blossom.
They do.
Absolutely.
They do.
And they, you know, and they can also within themselves find the balance of what is fun, but they take it seriously as well, that they, you know that, hey, this is what I'm doing and I want to achieve that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, once again, the space to be able to do
So
that.
that feeling that you have as a performer, and for others that might be shy or whatever it may be, when you're involved in a production, I know for me personally, when I was involved in productions, the people that you work with, they become your family, and you can be yourself. You can just let go of the shackles, whatever it is. You can just be yourself and be in an environment where everyone's just as crazy as you and you're celebrated for who you are.
Yeah.
So that's the energy that I've found within a production, and that's what's transferred over to our Facebook group. So it's that same feel. It's like a little family. I know, I think there's like about 3,000 members, but it feels like a small little family.
That's right, it does.
And just write what you want to say and be yourself, and there's no one that's being judged or put down in any way. So that's sort of the same feel.
Exactly.
What's been the most rewarding moment that you've both had since taking on Positive Theatre Vibes?
Doing this podcast.
Nice. That'll be the promo.
I love that.
Showtime with Andrew G.
Do you know what? I think that it was, you know, from the moment that Ian turned around and said, okay, you guys are the facilitators. And I was just sort of like, I am so, like, I don't know, I just feel so good that I'm like a part of it,
good.
or I'm just like, you know.
For me, I was like, okay, this is great. And then when Ian announced it and he said, Leigh and Ayla will be taking over, and then I got personal messages or even comments in it saying, you'll be the most perfect person for this. This is amazing. You're just the right person to drive this. And I was like, oh, thank you.
No,
Because
absolutely.
it's what you want to portray to the world, that, you've got something to give, and it's a small part that we can possibly play in making people happy and feel comfortable and confident.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's the most surprising thing you've learned from this experience?
That's, is it surprising? No, maybe it is surprising. Sorry, I'm just like organising my thoughts. No, I think that there's a lot of like-minded people out there that also want to, in a world, look, I think that people have gotten better with people that are trolling and things like that. But I think that we've got a lot of people that have had a bit of enough of that kind of, approach to online, and that they're ready to join the other side, which has a far more light and a more comfortable space to be. So, so it's just that there are a lot of like-minded people that
That's
have
right.
had
Yes.
enough of that.
That's right.
Yep.
And it should be like that all around.
Absolutely.
It's just no space for negativity with, issues and difficulties. So it's just nice to have a place where you can just relax, really.
That's it.
So, I guess for me the surprising thing is just there haven't been any issues. It hasn't been a hard task to take on. It's a joy. Like there's because we obviously get alerted when someone wants to post something in the group, and I was like, what's happening now? And I get excited, and then Leigh's already approved it, and I'm like, well, I didn't get to do that. But so the surprising thing is that there's just no issues. It's just enjoyable. It's relaxed for us. It's it's easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just fits into our lifestyle.
Well, it does. It does. And that's, I guess that's the best thing, that it is just sort of like, it is smooth sailing, and people are very respective of, of what's happening there. Just that respectable approach. They understand what the rules are. We don't have a lot of people that have infiltrated, sort of the group and created it something that it doesn't need to be. So
everyone's just there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Just a
that's
bit of fun.
good. It's probably rare is it rare, do you think, that we can say that? But
I think
it's
so,
just really nice.
It's just, yeah. Thanks, Ian, for setting it up.
I know, thanks, Ian.
Leigh, I can't let you go without talking about the show that you're in, that you're rehearsing for and is about to come up. Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia is
with
coming
Windmill
up.
Theatre is on at Bunjil Place from the 7th of June.
Correct, from the 7th of June to the 24th. It is going to be a super fun day or night, whichever show that, you come to. Choreography, outstanding. Costumes, phenomenal. It's great to be, and I've been exceptionally lucky over the past 3 years to work with companies that really value the culture that they have. So I'm having an absolute ball. And come along and see it. I'm playing the part of Harry Bright, one of the fathers, and he's a funny English man. Normally, it's American accents that I have to put on for roles, but this is a British accent.
Hey,
and,
how are you with the British?
That's amazing. No, good. They're enjoying it. I just said, look, if it's not the right one, let me know. But it was sort of like accent based off one of my British friends. So, it's
excellent.
It's a lot of fun. So please come and check us out. It's going to be unreal.
And also have a look at the chat with Emily, who's playing Sophie in Mamma Mia. There's probably a link below or up top, or I don't know where the link is, but there's a link somewhere right now. And anyone that wants tickets, windmilltheatre.com.au.
That is correct. Yep. So they can get tickets there at the moment. They are running a special. So please get your code, your discount code, pop that in to secure your tickets. And we'll see you there.
I can't wait.
So I'm trialling this thing, some quick fire questions. Just the first thought that comes into your mind. You ready?
I feel like I had to get ready then. I'm like, cool. Is this a game? I will win. Positive theatre vibes.
This is high risk, highly competitive. There's high stakes.
Okay.
What's your favourite theatre venue?
Comedy theatre.
It was the first thing that...
But you sounded scared as you were saying it.
Because people aren't going to believe me. It's a very convenient location, and it's historical.
And Legally Blonde opens on the 12th of July.
My daughter performed there for her first theatre show. So.
What's a dream show that you'd love to be produced in Melbourne today?
In professional or community theatre.
It's your answer.
I would love... Look, I would love Wicked to come back. I'm Wicked obsessed. I love that. I think that Into the Woods would be great to come back. I mean, I know it's on the community theatre circuit at the moment. That would be great as well. And you said one, so I'm limiting to one.
Although you were you? You say you limited to one.
No, exactly.
But I think you
there are
listed
so
3
many.
or 4.
I'm like, I'd love the producers to come back out. I'd like Jagged Little Pill to be released for community theatre groups.
It was earlier this week. Or earlier, depending on when you're watching this.
When you're watching
earlier this week.
That's good news. That's good news. I'm so happy.
For me, there's so many, but I have to go on my favourite, and Juliet. So I know that did the professional run, but it's been released to community.
It has. There'll be quite a few local productions of it.
So excited to go and see it again and again. It's amazing. It's flawless. I can't fault it.
Yeah,
Such a great show.
Yeah.
What's a favourite show that you've both discovered through Positive Theatre Vibes?
First Date, which was just done by a Lightbox Theatre Company, and I want everybody to go and see it. It was done as a one-act musical theatre performance. It is funny. For the one that I saw, brilliantly directed in the small space that they were working in. And I've seen a lot of theatre of recent, it was so good. It was just fantastic. So First Date, that's what I discovered through Positive Theatre Vibes.
I think for me it was The Music Man with Nova Theatre. They did that recently, and had no idea about it, had no expectations, and I went and I was just blown away. It was absolutely amazing. They did such a great show. The costumes were phenomenal, and just an enjoyable experience all around. Yeah, it was really beautifully.
Yeah.
Leigh, you mentioned First Aid, and it reminded me of all of the shows that local theatre companies can do without the pressure of the big commercial corporate touring theatre production companies. You'd never see a show like First Date or Daddy Longlegs or Bat Boy on a big commercial stage, because you're not going to get people buying the tickets that you need in order to pay for those big productions.
Yeah.
Which is one of the amazing things about local theatre, isn't it?
Great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really does, sort of allow those ones that might not be seen, that have had a great run overseas. It might be an off-Broadway, look at a show with a test run before it moves on to Broadway, or that's where it stays. And, we get the luxury of getting those shows over here, and people get to experience them, and they're so good. They're so good.
And it's accessible for the wider community, so people...
Absolutely. And can I just say also, I feel that the talent has just, sort of really lifted. It's always been there, but we've got such a talent in Melbourne, and our community theatre circuit are putting on such brilliant shows, with the resources that they've got to create something pretty amazing. Get out and see it. It is, theatre that might be a little bit cheaper, but you are getting what is a really good pro-level sort of show being run.
Absolutely.
The talent is amazing.
And also what I love about community theatre in Melbourne is that the theatre companies share a lot of things. Like they'll share the sets or the props and things like that. So they'll share their actors.
That's it.
But it's just really nice to have the support from each other, and just we're just going to keep it going.
The companies that are sharing on their stories, wishing
yes
MTMS a great
Isn't
performance
that nice?
from Fab Knobs.
Yeah.
This one, congratulating this one, or this is
Just
going to be great.
promoting
Go
each
and
other,
support them.
And Shooker support this show and that show, and Andrew does a lot of that.
It wasn't like that, and it's so nice that we are moving into that space where we can pat each other on the back and lift each other up. Yeah.
And I pretty much get all my theatre news from Andrew, so he's always promoting whatever shows are running.
Is most of it right?
I think so.
Oh, that's lucky.
You're lucky.
Who's Andrew?
Sorry.
Wow.
Angie. So, it's just nice that we have the ability to promote and educate each other on what shows are happening, and encourage each other to go out and see them and support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you describe Melbourne theatre in 3 words?
Dynamic, exciting, fun.
Best in world. I've seen a lot of theatre in a lot of different countries, and Melbourne, we are bringing it.
That's good to know.
Oh, everybody works exceptionally hard, and you can see that on stage. You can see the joy that's happening. We are where it's at.
The most livable city in Melbourne, in the world.
In the world,
Melbourne.
Absolutely.
We were.
Don't tell people.
This is positive theatre vibes, Andrew.
Yes, please.
That's it. Subscription delete.
Wow.
No. Oh, no. All good.
Finish off the quick fire. Opening night energy or closing night nostalgia?
Opening night energy.
Yeah, opening night
always
energy.
100%, because I'm an absolute emotional mess closing night. I don't want things to end.
Night energy, that audience, that was funny. Okay, great. Okay, that works. Yeah, no, opening night.
Always.
I'm with Leigh, Roncon and Ayla Hendricks, who are the people behind Positive Theatre Vibes on Facebook. I'll have a link below. Leigh, Ayla, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for all the positivity you put out there about this thing that we love.
Thank you so much, Andrew, and thank you for your positivity as well that you're putting out there. It does not go unnoticed.